Hello everyone, this is Andrew with Andrew Peche Photography, and we are going to get in here and check out John Bailey's portfolio today. As you can see, I'm going to plug myself here. If you can read this comment, he was previously using more HDR methods, and he ended up buying the One Light real estate photography course that I have on my website, and he is saying I didn't get to see his images before, so it's kind of hard for me to compare a little bit, but we're going to jump over to his website and we're going to see what all this improvement is, even though we're not going to be able to see his old HDR stuff. Okay, so we're going to just jump over there, and I will just say, to start off, this is going to be one of the easier critiques that I've had, because I think the way he's done this, especially this opening page, the way this is set up right here, he has these twilights just kind of on autoplay, and I really, really like this. I mean, I can't imagine anybody coming here and seeing this work and not going into the website and not looking at more, okay? I'm actually not a big fan of the autoplay, but in this, I just think it works here because these are so strong, these images. I really think these are good. This one, I can't pause it, which kind of bugs me, but this one in particular, it feels like it's almost leaning a little bit down on this side, but that was the only thing I saw. I really like the way he's done this. So anyway, we're going to jump straight into the portfolio, okay? And I think I decided that how I'm going to do this, I think that would be most helpful for him is I'm just going to tell him what I see in terms of like stuff that shouldn't be in your portfolio, okay? So that's going to be a big starting point. Like right here, this is like your first image, the one that everyone's going to kind of see this one. So anyway, I'll just get right in there, and that's how I'm going to approach it, like from a base level of like what I feel you should take out of your portfolio, okay? Because you have some really good stuff in here, and like I said, we're going to jump in here and look at this first one. And I just don't think this should be the first image in your portfolio. Okay, that's one of the biggest things that jumps out at me. I know this might be like a nice bathroom and a nice resort and stuff, but it just doesn't kind of make it for me. Okay, in terms of your other stuff. Okay, this photo right here, I just feel like it could have used a little bit better like color. I just don't like these blues coming in over here. I just think it should be cleaner in that respect, okay? And I noticed the lighting is really natural, and I think that's good. But again, I don't know. I just don't think this is portfolio material. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad, but I just think you should take this out, okay? So that's how I'll critique that image. All right, and this is the same thing, okay? No matter what you do here, it's not going to be a portfolio image as far as I'm concerned. I feel like the camera's a little low here. My critique on this is I think you should take it out, okay? Take it out of your portfolio. I don't see, like, if you're gonna, what I would say is, if you're going to do something like this because your clients, what you're probably thinking is, oh, my clients want to see how I shoot bathrooms. Go ahead and on your next job, when you get in a nice bathroom, they don't know any better. They're off doing whatever. Spend like 20 minutes lighting and composing like one of your bathroom shots and put that in your portfolio, okay? I don't necessarily know what your whole process is and how long you spend on site, but that's what I would do. I would just if I had to have like some bathrooms in my portfolio, I'd make sure like in my next time I got into a nice bathroom, I just spent a lot of time like lighting it and making a really nice photo. Okay, this looks like it might be kind of, to me, I'm just guessing, but your average photo you deliver, like a bathroom photo, and it just shouldn't be in the portfolio, okay? And this almost, I just feel, the same thing here. It just doesn't grab me. I mean, I went from like seeing these amazing dreamy looking twilights that I saw in your opening page, and then I'm coming to this, like, these lights wrapped with plastic. I just don't think that's it's not a good transition for you, okay? If anything, you almost want them to come in and feel like they're even being elevated from those first few twilights, okay? So this is more getting to the point where, like, I mean, I haven't even necessarily looked through the whole portfolio yet, but this, for example, could be like the first image up where we were at, like your, what do you call it? Where we could see every image. This could be your very first image. I don't know if there's a light box here. Maybe we are in it, but I'll just stay like this. But yeah, this is looking great. And I think you're really following from what I saw when I just kind of scrolled through, I really feel like you're doing great with the lighting and kind of keeping the naturalness, but at the same time correcting the colors with your flash and stuff. I really think you're, I'm kind of proud of this, but I think you're really doing a good job following the course. As far when I look at this, I think it's a really nice blend between both like natural light and window pull, and then not going too crazy on the color correction, which I know I do sometimes, but you're kind of leaving a lot of that natural color in there. So I really think this is a nice photo, okay? I'm not sure exactly what color the wall and ceiling was, but I think it's great. I think you've done great here, okay? And same with this. This looks great. I mean, it was probably a cloudy day, right? So it was tough it would have been nice to pull that in a little bit, but you can see that outline of the mountains. It's always hard to know what was going on the day of the shoot, I know. But so, yeah, that's the only thing I see here is like, I know a hotel guest might want to see like something a little bit more less gloomy, okay? That's the only critique I would have here. And it might have been the day that you shot it on, but you could do like a blue sky channel replacement, but it's going to look fake too, I know, because you have the cloudy lighting on the trees and stuff. But what you might be able to do is just tone back the opacity a little bit. Just put like a little strip of blue in there or something. I just feel like it's a little on the gloomy side, that's all. But it's not at the same time. I think it's really well done, okay? So yeah, it's looking great. It's doing its job for sure. And I'm sure it's like, 100 times better than the photo they had previously. So that's definitely all, great, great for them and great for you. And I think this is a good, I might clean this little stuff up back here, but I think this is definitely a worthy portfolio image. The only thing I can see is, I wonder if you would have stood over here and, zoomed in even more, and then that would have even pulled this in more. But that's always hard to kind of judge. I think in general, I like it. Okay, I like it a lot. So you've done really well here. All right. So we're going to move on. I was going to try and start a timer on myself, but I forgot. This is another case where I'd say, I just don't think this is quite worthy of a portfolio. Okay. I really don't. I think you've got some better stuff in your portfolio. I wonder if what's going on with you is maybe that you're kind of making that transition you were saying from HDR, and you don't have enough stuff from the lighting stuff yet. So it could be, I'm not sure. So this is, to me, just for me, this is looking like the best I've seen so far. Okay. I'm not quite sure how he was processing those last images that I kind of liked, but it could have been more HDR-ish, but this one is looking more like flash was used to me. And again, the day he shot it, I guess, I would say that's just kind of bad luck. That's probably what it looked like. And, what can you do? Sometimes what you can do, it all depends on your relationship with your client. But you could have showed up here this day and talked to him about rescheduling. I'm not sure how often, but I just don't think for like a resort photo that type of cloud cover like that is ideal. I know it's hard to deal with, but I like the processing everywhere over here, and the window pull is nice, and that's the ocean, I take it, right? So I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. So, but yeah, so we want to show that for sure, but I'm just not sure about the cloudiness of it. And, I hate to be so cliche, but I'd almost err more on the side of making, I don't know if you could, but showing the ocean and then making this go more white. This is just feeling a little gloomy to me. That's all. a little like the other one, but it could be just something that just happens, something that just the weather rolls in where you're at and it's just hard to deal with. It probably is the case. All right. And this is great. I love this. Okay. I think this is more, this is really feels sophisticated. Okay. So this could definitely be, it's a simple room, but you've done a great job with it, with the composition and stuff. And I definitely feel like this could, it's making that cut. Like I've been saying, I'm going to tell you and this is definitely making the cut. Of being in the portfolio. I don't really like these greens. It's really easy to take care of that, just even if you only like quote unquote half took care of it, but I don't like that. I know it's natural that light's coming through there and making that, but I would have, you don't want to see green in a hotel wall or curtains, people don't want to see yellowish green, okay? But I really like that composition and it's really giving a nice feel for the space. Okay, and this is again like, it's the work is, I think this is very good. Okay, so this is exactly what we want to be showing, like a view. We're feeling like as we're looking at this on Expedia or whatever, whatever the hotel's website, we're really feeling like now, like we want to go to this place. Okay. I know I see this a lot, but it's like the masking on the bed right here. I mean, I'm kind of assuming how you did this, but it should just feel a little bit brighter right here on the bed. It's almost brighter on this side. And, the windows right here, you just be careful with that. Like, a lot of times what I'll do is, if you're imagining what I'm saying, sometimes it'll get hard to mask in like ambient. You're kind of brushing it in and it's brushing in the window, so you don't want to do that. So what I'll do is just take a dodge and a dodge layer and just kind of fake it, just fake some ambient like right over in that area. But that kind of jumps out at me, how dark that is. All right. And then this right here is really bright. It's looking natural. And then this kind of isn't. All right. But yeah, and then this is a little dark right here relative to this for me. Just little stuff like that. Details that your clients probably won't notice at all. Okay. All right. I really like this. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this though. This composition. I mean, I think it would be one thing if the table was, number one, like a really nice table, and it had like, say, some margaritas on it or whatever. So whatever, maybe dinner or whatever. But this, I don't think it works the way it is. Okay, because it's a wide angle photo, so it's kind of a picture of the table, and then we have this in the background, of course. And then, the table is just, it's not like you're showing off the table, and the table, for one, doesn't need to be shown off. And number two, it's like, this is looking great back here. So maybe I would have just stood on the other side of this table and took this photo, And I have been noticing it almost feels like this is warping a little bit up here, like going this way. So that would be a little bit of barrel distortion. I just have feeling I've been seeing that. So, you guys should have these, whatever, their lens profiles, and it should take care of this. Okay. So if you don't have these, I definitely recommend getting them. So I could be wrong, I don't have the level out or anything, but, and the other thing I see here is it would be nice to, you would just have to mask around this window and get like a lighter version because it's very distracting. This one has more reflection, so it's going to be harder to deal with. But just in general, I'd say I'm not crazy about this composition, as I've already said. And that almost seems like an iPad right there, which is a little bit awkwardly positioned. I don't know what it is actually. In this case, I do kind of like the picture on the screen there. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this one. I think it has to be taken out from the portfolio. Okay, that's just as I see it. This really, in my opinion, it just screws up the photo. Okay, the way you've composed it, in my opinion. All right. This is one of those ones that I know it's kind of tough to light. I, you know, I find these type of cabinets sort of hard to light in general, and that's almost a good reason to like not include them in your portfolio. You know what I mean? So this one, I'm feeling that same kind of getting that same vibe from it. Like, I don't mind. I like the composition and stuff, but I don't really. I just don't think the wood looks that great, and it could be the wood itself too. I don't know. I tend to put a lot more flash on wood like this, and I feel like it looks better. It just looks crisper and stuff. But I noticed like the refrigerator is looking horrible in this example, and I know I'm going over like a lot of stuff that I feel like I don't like. So, but I think in general your portfolio is great. But I'm just telling you that. But yeah, this would have to go. And I notice a lot of times you have like the air conditioner in the shots, and that's like your client might want that, of course, but in your portfolio I'd say you can take stuff like that out. Like, this little stuff over here definitely can go, right? It would just take you a second. And yeah, I'm feeling like my final thought on this is it's not portfolio material, okay? And we'll kind of maybe talk about that some more before we end. Okay, so this is cool. The only thing I don't like about this is it almost feels almost like a mistake somehow. I do like there's some like blurring of the color of his shirt through here. It almost feels like he got put in there by mistake to me. I like the idea of having him down there, but I wonder if you have like some different frames or like a way to clear that up. I'd almost like to see a little bit less he's a little bit translucent. And I know that happens with the long exposures, but it just feels a little strange to me, a little too ghost-like, okay? A little blur movement is cool, but that one almost feels like a little too much. So that's what I have to say there. But I think this turned out cool. I like the composition. It's obviously like very difficult to light. One thing that you may want to play with on this one, because it's getting so strong through here, is like, that hue saturation, the yellows. You can maybe tone them down a little bit and just see how that looks. You might want to just see how that looks. But I think the composition is really cool, and it really shows like this photo is definitely doing its job. And I think your potential clients will see this and say, wow, they'll like it for sure. I just still am not crazy I like the idea, but not crazy about the execution here. Okay. And that could be you too. So hopefully you have some other frames you could play with that and like, flop those in there and see how they look. Okay. So this again, so this is like top in your portfolio, okay? So just at the top, something like this, all right? And you want to take these out. There's no reason to have these stuff in here in your portfolio, okay? So you want to make sure all that's dialed in. But it's great, and I really think I'm assuming you used like the one light stuff to do this, so maybe I'm wrong in that assumption, but it looks like a mix to me, and it's really, like I was saying before, I think you've really done a good job like applying the technique. So I'm personally like kind of proud as I look at these. And you're doing a good job kind of interpreting what I was saying, like not getting too crazy, and just a nice mix between the flash and the ambient frames. There's a little something going on with color. I'd say it's mainly color. You could fix that right up with just a color layer and make sure you don't paint the wall that color. But yeah, this should go, people should be seeing this way before they saw that first bathroom we looked at, okay? And stuff like this, if you're going to take a photo of a resort like this, I mean, I tend to, I'm just guessing here, but it seems like you might get a little bit more time per photo than like the average person I'm talking to. So you would definitely need to like fix this pillow, for sure. And that might have just been, there's a lot of pressure on these shoots. I know you guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. I know. And, you can't necessarily be looking at stuff like that, but, it comes with experience. I do it too. So, of course, you just got to take that second or two and actually look out there, I know I'm always thinking of lighting, but you got to look. That is kind of a mistake right there, especially if they're giving you a little bit more time per photo, okay? Which you should take for something like this. And again, this is really nice. I really like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with this. I think you're doing a really good job with pulling in. I don't really like, there's some blue action going on right there that I don't really like, but that's about it. I mean, for your portfolio, again, you just want to take things like that out. We don't need to see anything like that. Yeah, I mean, if you had time on a photo like this, I know this is looking natural, but it would be cool just to see like a little, almost like a little, like just a shot of light right there on that. Maybe even you could keep it dark over here, but it just looks a little dirty to me. And it's a hotel, but I just think a shot of light on there, like masking that in and making sure people know that it's nice and clean. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it looks like it's just going from really bright and nice to sort of dingy and dirty. And I know you were trying to kind of mimic the natural light there, but I know it's a hard thing to do, like between keeping that naturalness and then at the same time, but this is just, it's changing colors and it's just right in the foreground and it's looking a little, that's just what I see there. It's something really important. It should be kind of definitely giving people the feeling of clean, perfectly kept, and maybe even unwrinkled. You might be able to play with like a little blur to de-emphasize those wrinkles a little bit, but yeah, I think the general feeling of the photos, you've done really well, okay? I'll tell you what I see here. Like if I was standing there making this photo myself, I feel like I would have lit things a lot more. And so, I don't like to go into the whole process that I do in the one light real estate photography and the YouTube videos, but I just feel like I would have lit things, with like a ceiling bounce a lot more, like crazy. I feel like maybe you lit stuff here, and because you say you're using the lighting, but I don't know. I shouldn't try and guess at because I have a hard time guessing what people did exactly. But anyway, I just think if you were to do this again, a lot more lighting, and then play with the ambient after you do that, okay? So play with the ambient lighting after you've done, on top of your lighting frame, because that would kind of clean up a lot of these colors and stuff. All right, and that's great. I love that. All right, so, the composition maybe could have been better. It's always hard to guess about these things. This is a little strange to me to see this, and that's something that could just go, that little window thing right there, with glass, whatever it is. But yeah, this is cool. It's hard to know exactly, the choices he had on this. But yeah, it's working for sure. All right. Okay. I don't know that I'm so crazy about this one for the portfolio either. I think it's good, but what I see here is just like I would have seen this and kind of I like what you've done with the window and how but I feel like you can blow that out even more. And then if these are on a dimmer, that would be great, but they might not have been. But what I see here is just like getting my umbrella out. That's just what I see. And just flashing away, okay? That's just, I don't know if my critique is helpful at all, but that would just kind of crisp everything up, all right? Just, I feel like getting that, supplemental lighting flash in there, all right? That's just what I see, all right? Okay, this feels, see, whatever you did here, I think you should kind of do that because it feels clean, and these are obviously like kind of resort or hotels, And again, even though your client might want to see this in here for your portfolio, I would just, it shouldn't be that hard to take that right out. But it looks very clean. It looks light and bright. I'm getting a nice feeling that the bed, your work, you probably know better than I do, but it's very important people think like the bed is clean. Just think what you're thinking when you look at resorts on Expedia. You want to know that the room is clean, and it looks like that to me. This photo is giving me a very good feeling like I want to be in here, okay? And if you go to I think a good thing for everyone to do is if you go to kind of the medicine section, the next time you're in the pharmacy, look at all the packaging. There's all these like grids on the packaging, and everything's like really clean and like white, or these kind of neutral colors. And that's kind of what we want to convey for a hotel room. Everyone wants to feel like they're going to this really clean, kind of sterile place, okay? We don't want any sort of yellowing things going on anywhere. Maybe from the lighting is okay, but I think you're getting the point. Like, just, however you process this, I think you did a good job. I feel like you got more flash in here, and then you mixed in some ambient, but I could be wrong. And it also looks like this area is a little bit more on the cool side to me, but I think it works for this image because it makes the space look cool to me. And again, cool and sterile, which is good for you, for your clients. I think they'll like that. All right. And check out that medicine packaging in the pharmacy section. I'm telling you, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with your work. Because I'm telling you, you want people to feel really, that's what people want to feel when they take medicine, right? Like they're taking something that's really, really sterile and like good for them and clean though, right? So you can kind of mimic that type of work in your work, okay? So this is, yeah, I mean, the one comment again, like we're getting the shadowy areas. I would put this in the same category as I put that other one I was talking about. I just see using more flash here as your base layer, and that kind of takes care of the yellowing on the beds and stuff, which I really don't like. So again, I think that's important for your clients. Like, I don't feel like they're going to want to see that, even if it's an artifact of the natural light kind of bouncing around and filling in the shadows. But it might even look less natural the more that you take away, but I don't even think it matters. I think you just want to make this bed feel like it's just perfectly sparkling clean, okay? Like no yellowing. And once again, I think the way I would approach this if I was there is just in general more flash in the base layer, okay? And I think that really helps you kind of get that starting point. I personally would err more on the side of kind of neutralizing things with my flash than I would. You're kind of, I feel like in general, erring more on the side of bringing back things more to natural, and I would err more on the side of like making those things more sterile, especially your colors, like with the base layer. That's what I see, okay? So it's just my opinion too, your taste may vary from mine, so you might like that. And I just think that's really important for people, like little details like that. But the rest of the photo looks good. I just think the colors get a little crazy sometimes, but it's not out of control. Okay, so it's like, it's just, I feel like it should be a bit more consistent. That's all. So, and the flash would do that for you. All right. All right, and this is beautiful. So I'm not even gonna, for the portfolio, I would take that out. And you could even do like a 16:9, which would be like cutting it off in this area. I think that would be cool. So I think this is beautiful. It feels like this is going downhill to me. I always say this, but I don't have like my protractor out. I would take these away for the portfolio. Okay, it's a cool photo. That might be a bathroom. So God, I wonder if you could just like, for your portfolio, just extend this wall. I don't really want to see that, but this is looking amazing. Okay, you've done a great job here, whatever you did. I really like this photograph. So I think it's great. Okay. And I think really your strong point is these twilights. I mean, I really believe that what I've seen, and this needs to go or be tamed down. Okay, that's all I really see here. I mean, I love what you've done. I love the feel of it. It looks like you added that. And if you did, wait a minute. Unless there was like a light right here, but then it would be hitting here though. Anyway, if you added that, I think is a great touch, and the fact that you kind of just made it in that one spot. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not crazy about these little leaves right here, but that's it, okay? And yeah, these are really nice. I like your twilights. I feel like if you could have pulled back a little bit from where you were, which you maybe couldn't, that would have helped a lot, but you maybe couldn't have, okay? All right, this is very nice. I just feel like this is getting a little out of hand, okay? That's it. So let me try and see what you did here. I mean, I get to this. I don't do these critiques too much, or I haven't done them a lot. And I feel like if I'm guessing what you did here, I just feel like it should have been a little bit earlier, especially for if you're mixing frames, which I don't even know if you are, but this is a little bit too late, okay? It would have kind of went all together nicer, I feel like, if it was a little bit earlier, all right? That's what I see, but I do like the image. It's cool, and it shows the space. I think playing with the color over here a little bit, it's just a little kind of, I don't know. I kind of try and err on the side of it looks more yellow to me. And if you're going to err, I would say get more warm, which yellow is warm, but a little bit more orange mixed in there. I'm not even sure if what I'm saying is exactly technically correct, but it looks a little on the yellow side to me. So I would want to kind of play with that color a little bit if you could. All right, but I like these. I like your twilights a lot. I think you're doing really nice work on those, especially those ones, that your page opens up with. I think you can go ahead and mix those twilights that your page opens up with in here too. Don't be afraid to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People can see those. You maybe don't have to put those right at the start, right? You could, because somebody might just come to your portfolio too, and they could be like in the middle somewhere or whatever. But yeah, I think those should be in here because I don't see them. All right. So I think that was it. That might have went a little long, guys. I don't have a timer or anything. I don't know how long, but that is it. I really am I know I'm a little bit on the, I'd say on the hard side on these critiques, but I think that's good. I'm not, I'm not like really, experience in giving these critiques, but I appreciate you guys asking me to do it. I really like these, and what I was saying there at the end is I think you should go ahead and fit these in to your portfolio, not just have them out here playing like this, okay? Even though I do kind of like that idea. Great job. I know what I was trying to get there at the end was I'm a little on the rough side on these critiques, but I hope people take it the right way. And I think this is an amazing portfolio, and I really think it's great, and the work is really good, especially these opening images. So use those as much as you can in your marketing, okay? I know I said it's a little bit dreary and stuff, and these are like that too, but I feel like for the twilights it works better in this case, okay? Because it's feeling like you've done some cool creative stuff there, so I like it better in these shots, all right? So that is it. I will see you guys for the next one, all right? Okay, bye-bye.